Joyce versus Zhang. The big fight at the Copperbox. I'm calling this big trouble at the Copperbox. Find out why in just a few moments. You're watching BWTM Sports Gaming. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. Glad you could join us. Hope you all are well, wherever you are in the world watching this. So, another big heavyweight fight is happening this weekend, literally round the corner from where I used to live in London, Forest Gate, Stratford. I remember going to Stratford and used to go to Stratford before we had the Westerfield there. Used to go to Stratford to go to Argos on the Saturdays. And I don't know if how many of you from East London know about the Argos in Stratford back in the day, but that was, you had to wait there for a while to get your stuff from Stratford in Argos. And used to go for the market in the mall in Stratford as well. Just buy my video games. Percy Ingalls, go there and get my custard buns. Got the donuts with the custard in them. Yeah, them too. Decent memories of Stratford. Of course, things have changed so much. Obviously, things have moved on. And we now have the Copperbox. And I'm sure by the time I get back to London again, many more things will be there as well. But anyway, I digress. So, Zhang is in London tomorrow night. It's all going to pop off, as they say. It's going to pop off tomorrow night in London. Yes, J. Roos Theory, how are you doing? Brother, hope you're well. Now, I'm going to tell you from the start, from the absolute start, as this fight has been announced, I don't like it. I don't like this. When you're on my channel, you're not going to get any of the hype. I'm not a promoter. You're not going to get any BS. I don't like this fight. When I mean I don't like this fight, I don't like this fight for Joyce. For Zhang, I think it's a great fight. But for Joyce, unless they've heard something in camp about Zhang that maybe he's slowing down a bit, he's not as dedicated. You hear whispers in the gym, he's carrying an injury. I don't like this fight, and I'll tell you why. So, few of you on this channel like Philip Herkovich, and even Uncle Bashir likes Philip Herkovich. And I warned you all about Herkovich. I warned you about Herkovich. They say, oh, yeah, Herkovich. Yeah, next heavyweight champion of the world for sure. Herkovich that. I said, Herkovich is hype. Herkovich is hype. And Herkovich is lucky he got that win against Zhang because Zhang was not meant to beat Herkovich. He wasn't the favored guy, all right? Herkovich was the guy who's been the guy in there and handled business. He didn't. But promotionally, it was good for Herkovich because obviously Herkovich is the name. So they kind of saved Herkovich's career because he wouldn't have looked good if Herkovich had won that fight. All right. So Zhang clearly won that fight. Everybody with two eyes, even Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles, they both could see, judging that fight, they could see that Zhang won that fight. So for all you who are hyping Herkovich up and were knocking Joyce at that time, because not too long ago, Joyce was slow, molasses, can't box, too slow. Blah, blah, blah. Now everyone's jumping on the Joyce bandwagon. When I was sitting here telling you that I called him the British George Foreman, and now I hear people, commentators, even Teddy Atlas has come out and said, oh yeah, now they recognize him as the British George Foreman. When I was saying it way back then, after he fought Stavern and then he fought Jennings, I said, this guy is like the British George Foreman. He's got a great jab, should have been an Olympic gold medalist. And what Foreman used to do, he used to use that great jab, get you against the ropes, bundle you against the ropes with his strength, and just overpower you with lots of punches, big, sloppy, heavy punches, boom, 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 and knock you out. That was what George Foreman did. George Foreman wasn't fast. I mean, he wasn't fast, but he was powerful. He was big, George Foreman. Now we got the juggernaut, Joe Joyce. Now here's the reason why. If I were managing Joe Joyce, I would not take this fight. Zhang, 19 stone, whatever. Okay, he's southpaw. He's got a big left hand. He's not just a crude puncher. This guy is himself an Olympic silver medalist. He beat Herkovich and he dropped Herkovich. Now let me explain something. Joe Joyce, for all he does, and I rate him highly, for all he does, there are things that Joe Joyce does that concern me early in the fight. Joyce is good after about 4, 5, 6 rounds. But the first couple of rounds, you see Joyce 2, 3 rounds. First 3 rounds, 4 rounds. He's not only liable to get nailed. Let's go back to his amateur career. He got nailed and stopped by Anthony Joshua back in the amateurs. And let me not just take you back to the Christian Hammer fight where people said they didn't see Joyce get buzzed. No, he was buzzed when he fought Hammer. He was buzzed. He wasn't significantly buzzed, but the shots that Hammer was catching with were having an effect. Now, let me tell you something. If it's Hammer, and I hear these people talk about great chin. A great chin in boxing is one that doesn't get hit. That's a great chin. One that doesn't get hit. Not one you leave out there to stick out to dry and let people hit you on it and hit you on it and hit you. That's not a great chin. That's durability. That you can soak it up, but that's not advisable. And it certainly isn't advisable against Zhang, because Zhang only needs one. Zhang only needs one. And I would say on paper, this guy Zhang is better than Daniel Dubois. You say, oh, how can you be better than Daniel Dubois? Well, this guy actually went to the Olympics and won in the Olympics. He's a silver medalist. So he's a silver medalist that can box, beat, and has beaten Filip Herkovich. So however much you rate Filip Herkovich, and if you're rating Filip Herkovich higher than Joe Joyce, you should be concerned. You should be concerned. And people are saying, well, you know, Zhang tires. Yeah, Zhang does tire. But before Zhang tires, Zhang's going to be punching. And Joe Joyce is a notoriously slow starter. Notoriously slow. And Joyce's attributes, or his best attributes, are when he's got when your back is against the ropes. If you look at Joyce, that's where he'll swarm you and overpower you. But this guy is 19 stone plus. He's not just a 19 stone lump. He's a 19 stone guy who hits hard enough to drop and stop Joe Joyce. I hear Sam Jones talking about how Joyce is going to walk all over Zhang. He may do. But I don't see Joyce. Joyce is no defensive wizard. And just one of those left hands is the biggest concern. Is a concern. Okay, now Nick says, good evening, Nick. He says, nah, Herkovich nicked it. Some people complain about the Cobra fight. Same thing. You can't hurt a guy and do stuff for 30 seconds, then take a rest for the rest of the round. Okay, that's another way of looking at it. Joyce will run for the first few rounds. Okay, Joyce's chin will eventually get cracked and then it will be all over. Now, as much as it's an exciting fight, it's a fight Joe Joyce doesn't need to be taken. For what reason? You beat Zhang. So people will say, oh, so you beat Zhang. So what? Chinese heavyweight. Chinese don't have heavyweights. The ignorance will come out. There's no hiding to nothing. There is more in it for Zhang than there is in it for Joyce. And if Joyce were to get beat by a 39-year-old, I just do not like the fight. I do not like how it's set up. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I really don't. And this is a very good point. Joyce's chin will eventually get cracked, and then it will be all over. When a guy, you see, when somebody starts talking about somebody's muscles in boxing, often I think it's because the guy can't box. When somebody starts talking about somebody's chin, like Joyce talking about, yeah, well, I've got a tough chin, but then so is he. You're an Olympic silver gold medalist. You should be talking like that. We never hear of Floyd talking about how great his chin is, or guys like Lomachenko talk about how great their chin is, or guys who don't rely on their chin, but they rely on their boxing, their jab, their right hand, their left hook, their combination punching, their ability to stay out of trouble, to use the jab to create space. I don't like it, because when you're talking about what he's going to test my chin, you're already visualizing this guy hitting you in your chops. And I understand the idea of going in the shower and getting wet. I get that. But damn it, you don't just stand there and get nailed. And if Joyce gets nailed by Zhang, it will be a different proposition. If I'm Zhang, the first 3 rounds, I'm looking to stick it on Joyce, because he's a slow starter, notoriously slow. Zhang should adopt the Mendoza tactics. Go to the body for the first half fight, then go upstairs. We saw that Bryant Jennings went to the body. We saw where that happened. George Joyce will always manage to win, even though we don't think he won't. Well, I'm not going on this for this fight. I was Joyce's biggest critic, right, when he started his career. But then I saw something in the Jennings fight and the Stavern fight, which made me think, this guy is punching his. And then he fought a guy that dropped F.A. Jagba. And I thought, this guy is not only taking good shots and he's coming forward, but he's steep. That's why I knew who's gonna do Joseph Parker. I knew he was gonna do Joseph Parker. And I don't even think Joseph Parker was at his best for me. Joseph Parker is in decline. That's me. I haven't seen too much. And I like Andy Lee. I don't know if Joseph Parker in the Tyson Fury camp is good for Joseph Parker. I just don't. This fight is going to be a bloodfest. I believe so. I believe so. That's exactly... Joe Joyce, for me, I would like to see Joe Joyce take an interim fight. A fight that, we all know he's waiting for a world title shot. And given he just beaten Joseph Parker, fine. Great. Biggest win of his career so far. Fantastic. Brilliant. He could have fought someone else, but not Zhang. Because he's one punch away from disaster. One punch away from disaster. Set up for Zhang to win. Big fight in China, money talks. And look at it, where they're talking about Fury and Usyk and Joshua and Wilder all fighting in Dubai as a rumor. And you decide you go out there and you get nailed by a silly shot by Zhang. These have got the 2 biggest heads in boxing officially. Zhang gonna make Joyce do the dance. I hope he doesn't. I pray he doesn't. I hope. You know what I hope? I hope Joyce gets on the jab and boxes. And as Stacey McKinley and really the way you box a southpaw, to take away the southpaw is to get him against the ropes. Back him up, beat him up. Get him against the ropes. Then he's got no southpaw orthodox. You've got him against the ropes. That's where you do your damage. That's what Joyce is going to have to. He's going to have to use the jab. I'll use a lot of straight right hands as well. straight right hand and left hook. But he's gonna back Zhang up. If he backs Zhang up, if he pushes Zhang back, that is Joyce's fight. But if Zhang is able to push Joyce back and start zinging that left hand in, I really don't like the sound of it. Check out who's the ref. Who's the ref for this fight? And yes, Joyce can work at a pace. You can work at a pace if the guy that's throwing the punches back at you is not rocking you and wobbling you. Yeah, you can work at a pace. Anybody can work at a pace if the person that you're fighting isn't hurting you. If a guy now hits you in your chops and drops you, let me see that same work rate. Howard Foster, wow. Yeah, he's the apart between him and Ian John Lewis, they both could stop a bus. They could stand in the middle of the road and stop a bus. That when it comes to stoppages, those two guys. But you know, it's what they do. But you would want Howard Foster because obviously you want things to work in your favor. So if Zhang gets a little hurt, stop it quickly, get him out of there, stop him. So if Joyce is to win this fight in a firefight, I think it's going to be after coming through some big bombs. And then I asked myself afterwards, the damage you're taking this fight against Zhang, because I think Zhang will put it on the line. He'll put it on the line. For as long as he's around, that guy's going to put it on the line. What's Stavern's career status? I wouldn't like to say, but I would go close to retirement. How is Dubois the mandatory for Usyk when Joyce made him quit and he was a big threat at the time? I don't know. I asked this question before and I still don't know how. If somebody can work that one out, I don't know. But it's certainly politics. There's some politics with Joe Joyce. And I don't know. I've always felt that Joe Joyce's career has been a case of guys who've been put in front of him to beat him. And again, Zhang's another one, like the Joseph Parker fight. And this fight is with Zhang fight. I don't like the Zhang fight. I don't like the matchup of this fight. I don't like it. So forgive me for being maybe melodramatic. I don't like it because there's not much to gain by beating Zhang. Because okay, so Zhang isn't Usyk. He's nowhere near Usyk's speed or mobility or size or punching power. So it's not that. He's a big dude, but he can't box like Tyson Fury. So you're not exactly preparing yourself for a world title shot. Because he beat the great Trevor Bryant, common sense, really. Yeah, that's right. So those are just my short thoughts on it. Can't stay long on this one, but I just wanted to give you my preview on this fight. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Is this a dangerous fight for Joe Joyce, or does he walk through him? All right, let me get out of here. This has been BWTM Sports Gaming. We're out. Have a great evening. Take care.